Okay, I thought I would give a new YouTube video update. Nothing special. Um, Starting with politics, I know I'm probably gonna have to use make more than one part to this, so I just got right to the chase here and got right to the point. Politics. Okay, I won $60 from the current election because people thought I was crazy. Yes, that piece of shit got back in office again, as you all know. He didn't win by popular vote. He won by voting manipulation. Okay? Only an idiot wouldn't know that the voting polls were rigged. Okay? All Mitt Romney was a character in the storyline. He never had any kind of intention of becoming president. You really analyze it, they actually, in reality, wouldn't give Mitt Romney 2 paychecks. One for being a former governor, and one for being president. Because that means he would have to take home 2 paychecks. Which I know for a fact isn't allowed in politics. You know, you resign one and from... You go to the other. You can't carry home 2 paychecks. The same way, it's kind of like when a senator is allowed to run for president while working, but he can't carry 2 jobs, typically. I mean, most of you would be thinking, yeah, no shit. But in today's day in politics, every single politician is nothing but a character in the storyline plot. Okay? John McCain was only a storyline plot character, and then acted like innocent on the day of Obama's inauguration, which was illegal because this piece of shit still hasn't shown his real birth certificate yet because he doesn't want anyone knowing that he was really born in Kenya. But of course, he'll claim he's born in Hawaii, and then while giving some stupid political speech about Abraham Lincoln, now all of a sudden the piece of shit is thinking that he's born in Kentucky. Okay? Obama is nothing but a sociopathic, pathological liar. He totally doesn't give a shit about anybody but himself. He only cares about where he's going. And he doesn't know how to do anything else other than lie, 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 lie. He is the typical sociopath. The sky is blue, and he'll tell you it's red, otherwise you die. And yes, I know all you typical fucking liberals who are brain dead will say, well, you're just picking on him because he's a black man. No, I'm picking on him because he's a piece of shit. Even George W. Bush and Clinton were and still are white trash. So, yeah, there are white people who are pieces of shit. But again, the whole election was nothing but a setup. They couldn't stand the fact that a black piece of trash or a black piece of shit not be in office. That's their political reality of it. Okay? It had nothing to do with racism, because half the brain-dead, retarded liberals forget that he's half white. So yes, I can honestly say he is a both white piece of shit and black piece of shit. I mean, it's reality. I know a lot of you will sit there and flag this video, oh, he's being nothing but a fucking racist. Typical of idiots. So that doesn't bother me. I just sit there and laugh at retards. I don't get angry. You know, like most of the people on Fox News get. When a liberal doesn't want to agree with them and they pathologically argue with them. So that really I don't really give a shit about that. I can get this video flagged as many times as you want, and it won't really tick me off. Because I have a better mentality than that. The thing in Libya, the piece of shit isn't going to admit that he helped to murder someone. It's all typical of sociopaths. They don't want to admit the truth. Just like the piece of shit who invaded my family. He's a typical Spanish piece of shit. No, well, yeah, he's a Spanish extraction. But he's Puerto Rican. He's a typical Spanish piece of shit. Just like Obama is a typical black piece of shit because he's nothing but a con artist. He's not going to admit that he helped kill someone in Libya. He's not going to admit that, well, yeah, I had a part of it. He'll sit there and bullshit you until the cows come home. Even the part in the news where, he was inconsiderate enough to lead someone through the back door of his building. How the fuck do you do that without caring? But, let's see, 6 minutes or 12 seconds. Okay, I got plenty of time. I'm watching the time limit on here. That way I can cram everything in. As far as everything else goes, everything is all plain. You cannot take politics seriously. You can't. Because all it is nothing but a storyline. They know you well enough, and they care enough about you to get you to vote for them. But in reality, all you are is a number. They don't give a shit whether you can't make your next bill, because all they're happy about is getting their fringe benefits while in office. Hey, I don't know if a lot of you ever heard that Anthony Weiner is back on Twitter. I found that out through Donald Trump's Twitter and Facebook profile. Now, there's another guy who pathologically lies too, which someone on Red Eye, explained very well. He blamed it on a hacker because he didn't want to admit that he showed a couple people pictures of his dick. So he blamed it on the hacker, but he didn't want to actually investigate the hacker because, as someone explained on Red Eye, if you give a false report about someone hacking, that's a federal offense and it's worth 10 years. So the stupid idiot didn't want to, actually admit, well, I kind of screwed up. I took a picture of my body parts and I showed it to a couple of girls, but he didn't want to do that. He'd rather save his own ass. Oh, well, my Twitter, I got hacked, and who did it? I gotta go. Typical. It's like, asking Obama an important question. All he does is, you ask him, well, how do you figure about lowering the deficit? Well, yes, the deficit is, is very, very high, and we need to, lower it a little bit, and that way we can, make it, livable for, taxpayers to, live off of. Even though, everyone must... It's like, fuck not. Get to the point and get a brain. I mean, that's all they do is pathologically lie. But of course, when they get to the moment where they get what they want, then the guy all of a sudden can perform a correctly choreographed straight sentence. Even though it doesn't even make sense, because when you're lowering the deficit to make the debt ceiling higher, you don't make any sense. When you lower the debt, that means you want to lower the debt ceiling, so you can cut expenses, not spend $450 million fucking dollars, so his bitchy wife can go over to France and spend another $450 million, and then come back home and wind up spending $3.5 billion and then blame it on the taxpayer that they have to sacrifice when they're the ones who have to sacrifice. So, like I said, don't take politics too seriously because it's nothing but a storyline. Now, unless I think of something else later on, which I'm going on 10 minutes as of right now, as far as the social media, it's nothing but a childhood playground. All the way back, if you can remember when you were back in 3rd grade. People on Twitter and Facebook now are becoming exactly like politicians. They know you when they want attention, but when you ask them a serious question, they'll either block you, or they'll let you on the profile and but block you from sending messages, which is, I found that possible through a girl or a Playboy model named Kari-Nautique. Okay, I asked her one simple question, very innocently. I asked her, I've been writing to you for the past 6 months. Why do you ignore me? So I found out 2.5 days ago that she blocked me from writing messages on her profile. Does it bother me? No. But it just proves that she's just like the rest of them, who doesn't want to actually admit the truth, but will make enough energy to flaunt herself on camera and, take compliments. Which was basically what I wrote. Why haven't you been answering me for the past 6 months? Why do you refuse to answer me? Not seeing the message isn't a valid excuse. That's basically what I wrote there, because celebrities use that as a typical cop-out. Oh, well, I didn't see it. The whole thing. It's no longer valid. Because how do you not see a regular message? But you can see a guy who says, "Oh, you got nice tits," pardon my French, or you got a banging body, and they see that, and they also see stuff like, "Oh, you're doing such a great job in your photo shoots. I wish you such luck." Well, that they see, but they don't see something like, well, as many of you typical liberals may argue against, well, considering you're so good at plagiarizing people's quotes, how come you don't follow through with them? Now that they block you for, because they don't want to have to actually admit that they're only using those lines sociopathically to try to manipulate their audience to be on their side. So now the typical scenario that they have now is, before I go to part 2, is, okay, celebrities on Facebook and Twitter are nothing but sociopathic manipulators. And I use sociopathic not loosely. I use it loosely, but I use it within a good boundary of a definition, as an example, because they love to manipulate their audience. Okay? They only think inside their own bubble. When a celebrity criticizes you, in other words, if you take a person like me, who says, if you want attention, if you keep on ignoring me, I'll give you the attention you don't want. Their little bubble says, well, my fan base knows me, so they won't listen to you. Well, those kind of celebrities, like Playboy models, regular models, and movie actors, they don't see outside the bubble. They only see inside the bubble of the people who they are able to manipulate. That's what they think their strength is. But their weakness is that people who are smart like me sees right through them. Okay? They don't see the part where, well, this guy's really smart. What the hell what excuse am I going to come up with next? They don't see that. They just see their victim as an idiot who is willing to believe anything that they say. Alright, I'm going on 14:25. I'm going to cut it off here. I'm going to go on to part 2.